Greetings, everybody. This is Serpentine451, and welcome back to another episode of Weeb Warriors. Well, it's just going to be me this week since Jay and Jordan have things to do and other places to be. But at least my good-looking ass is going to be still doing these reviews here. Yep, big facts. So, let's actually talk about some of the new shows that came along the acquisition. Since I was going to talk about the first episode of this particular show last week, but since I was on a camping trip, that kind of changed. But I'm going to talk about the first two episodes of Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time, which is mostly focusing on the introduction of the shenaniganery of the series, where the strongest human, Peter Grill, finally won over his senpai, Luvilia, the daughter of the guildmaster, but he ends up being in sexual relationships with monster girls that want his spunk to create the strongest children on the face of this earth. Well, in their fictional earth. And the first two monster girls that he bumps uglies with are two ogre sisters, whose names escape me, but that's the whole crux of the first episode, which both episodes equal up to about 24 minutes. Regardless, it's all about getting to know Peter, the Ogre Sisters, and Luvilia in the first episode, and the whole crux of the plot. Then the second episode, we are introduced to Luvilia's father, the Guildmaster, who has a major hate boner for anyone who tries to get with his daughter. Just the overprotective parent trope in anime working in action. And at the end of episode 2, we are introduced to the elf girl that will decide to want to bump uglies with our boy Peter, the strongest man in their world. And now let's talk about the first two episodes of Rent-A-Girlfriend, where our protagonist, Kazuya, a 20-year-old college student who's still a virgin, which, hey, I'm still a virgin at my age of 27. So, don't let life get you down, Kazuya, even though you got dumped by your admittedly pretty hot girlfriend. But you end up signing up for a service where you actually rent a girlfriend. And due to the events of the first episode, he had to lie to his family because of said rental girlfriend, Mizuhara, who we were introduced to in girlfriend mode, and she's a big tsundere in regular mode. I mean, I understand, we all gotta make the grind, we gotta make that paper. Although in the first episode, when the grandmothers interacted with each other, thinking that both of their respective grandchildren were actually dating each other, that part was funny. Immediately, that was great. And then episode 2, we have the issue of the ex involved, where Mommy, just on the surface, is a jealous bitch. And she wholeheartedly dissed our boy. Admittedly, he's a bit of a... he lives like a fucking gremlin. And even his family acknowledges the fact that he's not all that great with the ladies. But she really just tears him down, makes him look dejected and defeated. Even our girl, Mizuhara, I think is her name. The false girlfriend, the random girlfriend. Ichinose. She stood up for him, even though she didn't have to. And the episode ends with our boy walking with the big bitch. Well, she's not necessarily big, but she's a bitch for sure. Just a huge bitch. Making sure that she has him wrapped up around her little finger. Just nothing but weak sauce. Then let's get to our other shows. We have episodes 2 and 3 of God of High School, which the fight scenes in this show are fucking crazy. Where most of episode 2 is primarily focused on a fight between Crazy Man in the first episode and a martial artist that's dedicated to, like, Kung Fu, I believe? Nobody, like, he fought well. Wanted to be a student underneath our boy, Jin. But that was impossible. Which Jin ends up saving his life from the insane patient and went all out and beat that guy's ass and terrified him. Which led to him ultimately getting punished for that action. Which leads into episode 3, where we have a couple fights with our other main characters, Hyundai and Mira, fighting a professional wrestler and a dude who is studying to see if his brain and brawn will be the perfect weapon to defeat his opponents. Well, it ended up not being the case. And our boy Jin Mori ends up getting into a fight with one of the commissioners. As his punishment, if he can knock down the commissioner once, he wins. But before that, the one who is running the who's running this whole tournament and is a prime minister, Park Moojin, a crazy motherfucker. He gives our boy fucking wild fruit, made him bleed for a minute, and he ends up like really kicking ass. And then ultimately, the commissioner that he was fighting, Four Eyes, essentially summons a JoJo stand and starts causing havoc, and had to be stopped by the others. Which leads to our boy still being in the tournament. Fucking crazy, folks. But then, let's get to episodes 2 and 3 of Misfit of Demon School, well, Misfit of Demon King Academy, where we are introduced to Sasha, major bitch vibes, and soon bitch, where our boy Flex Modeus just obviously flexes and disrupts her plans because they had a bet to see who would serve the other. And Flex Modeus obviously flexes and whips ass and wins the bet, thinking that he won her over for the sake of Misha and all that stuff. And then we get into episode 3, where Sasha has this turn heel at the end where she says, "Oh, I didn't care about her, I wanted her dead," all this bullcrap. And we also were introduced to one of the 7 emperors who had his memory altered, according to Flex Modeus, which, since he is the reincarnated demon lord, he tried to assess the issue. This show is actually pretty enjoyable. Just fucking wild, and I love it. And now we get to the second episode, finally, of Monster Girl Doctor, where our boy Glenn and Safi end up helping a mermaid with her breathing problems, which essentially she's not switching from her lungs that she uses on land to her gills when she's in the water. And that's affecting her singing capabilities. She ends up saving a boy towards the end of the episode, almost drowning herself because she's using her human lungs instead of her gills. Glenn saves her by making sure oxygen was transmitted to her lungs so she can make the transition from her human lungs to her gills when she's in the water. And he does so by essentially training spit by kissing her. And she becomes flustered and is enamored by our graciously young doctor. Yeah, everything's all great, all dandy. Episode 2 of the show is actually quite enjoyable. And the singing voice of our mermaid is very beautiful. And also, she's adorable. I will give it to our mermaid girl. She is adorable. And one thing I will say about our soapbox, the convention that I'm always looking forward to every year, KomoriCon, has been postponed to November of next year due to what's happening in the world. Yeah, I understood that was going to happen eventually, but what can you do? And they made that announcement on the 18th or the 19th, I believe, through Twitter. And I'm like, okay, do what you do. I don't mind it. So, that's essentially all the reviews. Very rapid fire. So, all y'all need to know that if you want to know the reviews, they're right there. I'll try to figure out to, individualize different segments in the much longer videos when me and the boys are actually talking about the shows in depth. When it's just me, just rapid firing stuff, I'll try my best to make the transitions somewhat smooth, but hey, what can you do? But anyway, this has been Super Team 451, and I'll catch you guys next time.